Everybody, here are the 5 lies that loan officers are being told by marketers. And these 5 fibs that are actually perpetuating you actually paying them to play small. There's no need to adjust your screen. I am not Adam Hires. I am the smaller, slightly less handsome version of him. My name is Dallas Hardcastle. I am his partner with Genius Loan Officer. I'm excited to be with you today, and let's get started with this right away. So I want to begin by giving you an idea of what this document is and what it looks like. And this is something that we created because within the marketplace, we see these same things being told over and over and over again. And we want to make sure that we can put a real hush and quiet to these things, because unfortunately, it is at the loan officer's expense, meaning that these are a bunch of well-intending companies, we believe, that are out there marketing their services, trying to help loan officers grow. Unfortunately, they are actually providing a great disservice almost all of the time because of the way that they are trying to help you. So let's get right into this great document. And just so you know, at the end, we'll also make sure that we put up a link so that you can request and get a download of this for yourself. We'll also make sure that we put something underneath the video so that you can be able to go and click on the link and download a copy of this for yourself. Number 5, which is that your prices and products actually matter. Every single salesperson that starts their sales career is at one time or another told, just as I was, hey, get in here and learn all your products, right? Learn all your products and then make sure that you can be really competitive and or cheap and or the cheapest on price. And that's going to be the thing that secures business. That's going to be the way to win a deal. Unfortunately, as we go through this maturation process, we come on to find it's simply not true. And it's so not true that during my early sales days, I was able to go and learn the products just as well or better than any other salesperson. And then we would go in there and just be competitive on our prices. And sometimes we were the cheapest on prices, but yet routinely I wasn't getting deals. I was routinely not getting the business. Why was this? I knew my product so well, and sometimes I would even be really cheap. Well, ultimately, because it just doesn't matter. Whether it is your end client, whether it is your referring partner to which you are trying to build these long-lasting, deep, rich relationships, they don't care. What they do care about is how well you understand their particular situation, how well you can solve their specific problem, how in tuned you are to what it is that they're doing, their needs, and how you can be a deep, trusted, respected partner that they can work with over the long haul. If your time is being spent on trying to know a product and trying to know your rates and be cheap, I promise you this is going to be a long struggle. Unfortunately, there's a lot of marketers and a lot of companies out there that are preaching this very nonsense. Make sure that you know your products, make sure that you know your prices. And then these loan officers move into these really high performing organizations, and they come to find out that none of their sister and brother loan officers are talking about products and prices because it simply doesn't matter. Get away from that. Learn how to be a deep, respected, trusted partner with either your client or your referring partner, and that will be the way to succeed in your business. To move ourselves to number 4. Number 4 is you're actually acting like a loan officer. Let me explain. Friend, you became a loan officer probably because it was going to be this great step forward and upward in the ascension of your career, of your freedoms, of your finances. You've been hearing the stories about how these loan officers were getting in and they're making these thousands of dollars per deal. And some of these are doing 5, 10, 20, 30 deals a month. Oh my gosh, you are going to be loaded. You're going to be stacking up money everywhere and just laying in pillows and beds of money. Unfortunately, you decided to keep acting like a loan officer. So most loan officers are still chasing that very dream. Specifically, when we act like a loan officer is not only acting as if they are just an employee, as if they have a job, but they're also acting as if they are their own loan officer's assistant. What does that mean? That means that they're going out and you're getting a loan. You're doing the part of sales. You're maybe even doing the part of marketing, some of the stuff that really, really matters, that really drives the business. But then unfortunately, once that deal comes in the door, you're acting as your own loan officer assistant or as a loan officer. You're involved in all of this paper shuffling, all of this back and forth, all of these texts and these emails and phone call updates, all of the stuff that's going on with the docs missing and the processing and the appraiser that's running behind. All of this other stuff that's happening where you're actually acting like a loan officer as opposed to a CEO of your loan or lending company, or as we call it, an LEO. An LEO, a loan executive officer, understands that 15 or 20% of these activities are your genius, are the areas that you thrive in, where you really, really matter. So as opposed to hearing all of the noise out there that's teaching you how to be a really, really busy loan officer, that's teaching you how to go and hustle and process and have your fingers involved in all of the steps and all of the things, that your cell phone is actually out there and published on all of your social media and your websites, so people can call you at 8 and 9 and 10 o'clock at night and at 6 in the morning. Instead of having these folks convince you that you actually are a loan officer, be ready to step in to be a different role. Be ready to step in to be a loan executive officer. So when that sale comes through, when you've marketed properly and the deal actually comes in, now you can move that off of your plate immediately and then go back to your strength. Likely the thing that you're really good at and the thing that gives you joy and energy and vitality, the thing you look forward to and don't dread, which is going out and selling another loan rather than following it all the way through with this processing and these docs and cell phone and text messages and all of this nonsense that truly you want to have absolutely no piece of whatsoever. Don't become your own loan officer assistant. Don't be a loan officer. Be an LEO and create a business where you are doing the 15 or 20% where you're great, where you're profitable, where you're able to manage your hours, your focus, your time, your energy, and then allow the other people who have a far greater strength and capabilities doing these other things than you do. These are folks who are great at doing the other pieces. They are great at processing, great at communicating, great at taking care of these fires, far better equipped than you. Don't believe that you're the one who has to handle all of this. Do the first part and then move away into the next piece of getting that moved into some other people. Now, number 3, focusing on tricky tools and tactics. Friends, let me tell you just really, really straightforward here. There's this pyramid of growth, this pyramid of success, this pyramid of business. And on the very, very, very tippy top, there are these little tactics and these little tools that you'll want to learn. But everything below that, with sales and marketing and communication and processes and strategies and systems and foundational elements of hiring and leadership, training, being able, notice I didn't mention prices and products. All of these other pieces are the fundamental, foundational, critical, necessary pieces. But these companies that are out there, they're actually tricking you by saying, we're going to show you this one little marketing trick, this one little marketing hack, this one little thing, this one little tool that's going to change your whole business. Friends, I've been fortunate to work with probably right around 5,000 small business owners now since about 1999. Do you know how many of them the great ones, the super successful ones, the ones that have these enormous businesses, some that have 10, 15, 18 businesses that they're running concurrently. Do you know how many of them are focusing on tools and tactics? Zero. None of them are focusing on that stuff. The people who are struggling, the people who are trying to get traction, the people who are trying to figure out how to just get things going, get something started, get anything moving, are doing exactly what I did my first 2 years of being in this business. My first 2 years of working with small business owners, consulting them, helping them to grow their business, their brands, their sales, their marketing, they did the same thing I did. I spent 2 years investing in this little trick, this little tool, this little hack, this little thing, this little link, this little back something, this little thingy that people could click on or would just change my whole business. I did it for 2 years, friends. After 2 years, guess where I was? I was still standing on square one. I hadn't moved an inch because I had spent 2 years buying these tricky little tools and this tricky little tactic and this little linky thing and this little marketing hackety something that would just change everything. Meanwhile, this was still the same. This was still the same. None of that had changed. None of that had adapted. None of that had evolved. None of that had grown. So friends, if someone is out there saying, here's the cute little marketing thing to get realtors in a room, here's the cute little hack to be able to get your referral partners to do this one thing. Here's a cute little Facebook hack or little Facebook system that can allow you to go and to grab a few end clients so then you can pass off some crappy leads to your partners. Buyer beware. They're not working on the critical foundational stuff that really makes the big impact, that really matters, that really teaches you how to grow a formidable, large, successful, sustainable, repeatable business. They're trying to sucker you into the one little tactic, the one little tool that's going to ultimately change anything and everything. And I hope for your sake, you don't do as I did and spend 2 years chasing these shiny objects to have 2 years go by to find out that essentially you're still standing in the exact same place in your business because we were focusing on that tiny little shiny thing at the very, very top of the success pyramid, rather than all of the huge foundational, high leverage, real activities that we can be doing that make a big difference and can change the number of loans you do next month, the month after, the month after. The real things that can increase 5 and 10 loans in a month in just a few months for real, rather than just the cute little trick, the cute little hack. So we can now move ourselves into the big number 2. See, I need reminded myself, and I'm the one who put this guy together. Number 2, chasing clients is the best way. Friends, there's a marketing assault going on to all of you loan officers, and it is about chasing these clients, chasing, learning how to do this ad, learning how to do this Facebook thing, learning how to do all of these different ways to be able to chase an end client. Friends, I want to give you a couple different images that I really hope will stay with you. You can either chase these clients all day long, or we can go and find a very real, automated, repeatable system that works day and night when you're awake, when you're sleeping, that gets referring partners connected and communicating with you. No, this isn't some magic wand. You just click one button one time and then all of a sudden referring partners are clamoring and begging to work with you. But it is identifying them and it is getting them into conversations with you daily. So if we're chasing an end client, think of it like this. Think of it like you're carrying this bucket and you want to go fetch some water. And every time you get an end client, you're walking a few hundred yards down to the stream, you're filling up your bucket, and then you're bringing it and walking it all the way back to your business. And then you sit there and then you empty out your bucket and now you're out of water again. We gained a client, but now we got to go back out and we got to do this all over again. We want to teach you how to build a well We want to teach you how to put this water pump on your property so that there is this constant replenishing flow of referral clients. If someone is trying to teach you how to run an ad to gain 1,000 cheap leads for clients that have 460 credit scores and that you get to chase over hundreds and thousands of hours to try to land a deal, they're trying to teach you how to walk with your bucket down to the stream. Referring partners is teaching you how to dig and build your own substantial well. You have referring partners. You have 15, you have 20, you have 30 high-level referring partners to which you are adding extreme value. And now, instead of using addition, going out and getting an end client, now we're using good old multiplication. A multiplier is someone that maybe they are doing 10 or 15 deals a year, and now they can refer 4, 5, 6 of these every single year to you. And you know who these players are in large part, although another part that I would want to add is it doesn't always have to be the realtors. Almost all of the loan officers, almost all of y'all are chasing the realtors all the time. And yes, of course, we know that the realtors are there. We know that they have business. We know that they're front facing at all times. However, there are also financial planners and certified CPAs and insurance agents and home security agents. There are assisted living facilities, nursing homes that are also front facing with your clients at all times. So being able to go out and not only just find these referring partners that are multipliers, that is allowing you to dig your own well on your property. So there's that constant flow of having, just think about having 20 referring partners, and each of them are just referring you one deal every other month. 20 referring partners, each referring you a deal every other month. Think of what that looks like in your business. What is that real number? Like, that's 10 deals a month, every single month, if they're just referring you one deal every other month. That's before you do anything else. That's a really great business. And now your job is to take care of those 20 referring partners. So avoid the chase of the end clients. Avoid being the person who goes down and fills their bucket and then empties it out, and then they are left with no water. And avoid the business building tactic of adding one more client, one more client, one more client, when we can multiply and get in one referring partner and get in 5 more clients, 7 more clients. My partner, Adam, has probably told the story in the past about how he has one financial planner that in 1 year got him 15 deals. One partner, 15 deals, multiplier, or chasing the client to get one deal. Finally, with all of the drum rolling and all of the excitement and the pent-up enthusiasm and that pent-up eagerness and anxiety to finally get to number 1, here we are. And number 1, of course, is that growth hurts and means more hours. Friends, I know Adam did an episode on this here a few weeks ago at my behest, because this is the thing that, as I said, working with thousands of small business owners, this is the thing that is keeping you and them playing small almost at all times. And it is the term that it has this great little scientific term that we've given it, this oppositional growth syndrome. But what does that mean? That means, in layman's terms, that if you were doing 5 loans a month, and if you were working 50 hours a week, the very thought of doubling your business is one where your brain attaches severe pain to doing this. Your brain is saying, why would I go from 5 loans to 10 loans when I'm already working 50 hours a week? I'm already forfeiting some of my morning. I'm forfeiting some of my evenings. I'm forfeiting some weekends. I'm forfeiting family time. I'm forfeiting time to go out and connect with friends, fellowship, to golf, to enjoy myself, just so I can grind and grind and grind. Friends, I tell a story that I think will hope to be able to really resonate and paint the picture of why we matter and why we talk about this so much. Years back, I was getting connected with somebody. I was referred by his wife to a gentleman who ran his own ads agency. He could run an ad and fill up calendars. This was his talent. This was his gift. He was running his own ad agency, and guess out of everyone who he wasn't running ads for? Himself. He wasn't running ads for his own company. Why? He had attached so much pain to taking on new clients that he didn't want to do it. He had never had a month in excess of $15,000 in revenue, because every time, and of course this goes through some discovery, I began asking some questions, digging into the business. What do things look like? What does this process look like when you do sell a client, when you bring them in the front door? What does this look like? How are they handled? Who are they working with? What are all the different things that need to be taken care of to get them through this initial intake and onboarding process? And it was pain. It was all of this work that he hated. It was all of these integrations, all of the stuff he had to tie together, all of these systems, all of these softwares, and he just hated doing it. And he was bad at doing it. So it took him an extra long amount of time. So he would sell a customer, he would put off and dread then doing the next steps. Eventually, of course, would be forced into doing them, because after all, he had this client and he had to start doing stuff for him. So then he had to tie in all of these integrations, tie in all of this backend stuff, all of this software. So he dreaded it, he loathed it, he procrastinated it. And then when he did do it, it took him much longer to do it. And it was really hard for him to do. What was the answer? Stop marketing, stop selling. Now you've eliminated that pain. You know how this relates to you, obviously, from that story. This is almost every single loan officer. And if we don't want to say something as generic as almost every single one, I would tag this percent at easily 97 or 98% of every loan officer, mortgage broker, branch manager that we have ever spoken with. They are being trained. You are being trained that, hey, some generic little saying, hey, let's increase your income while reducing your hours. Well, that sounds cool, right? But it's not just meant to sound cool. It's not just supposed to be some tagline. It's not some cute little marketing hook. It's required. If your business is designed in a way where every single time you market and successfully sell a deal, that you have attached pain, procrastination, stress, anxiety to that process, you will play smaller. You will do worse in your sales. You will have different conversations. You will begin to blunt your own marketing efforts, because there is so much pain involved in bringing in the deal and all of the stuff that has to go around behind it. So I say this in that, don't think of this as some cute little marketing jingle. Increase money, reduce hours. It's required to figure the hours part out, or else you're going to continue to put more and more and more pain and stress and anxiety and feel overwhelmed and procrastination into actually growing your business. Some of these pieces, as you may be getting, tie into one another. This first one that we begin with, remember we started with number 5, ended with number 1, that growth hurts. You'll hear people say it. You know, gosh, well, it just hurts to grow. It hurts to start to get bigger. Like, how are you showing up for work? How are you showing up in your sales and in your marketing if it hurts to grow? What if the question is, how can we remove that hurt? What if the new narrative is growing is joyful. It's exciting. It flows. It comes with ease. It allows me to evolve. It allows me to change. It allows me to hire great talent. It allows me to surround myself with A players who are better than doing these things than I ever will be. Understand, it's not about me or you just doing the processing. And maybe with my personality type, I dread it. It's not just about me dreading it, so then I'm attaching pain to it. It's about the fact that there are other people in this world who can do it 10 times better than I can do it, and that thrive in that environment because they're incredibly detail oriented. They're incredibly good at noticing the nuance, the little thing, that little point, that little stat, that little error that I simply won't see because my brain and my eyes are not wired in that way. So the thing that I'm bad at that causes me great pain is something that an amazing teammate is incredible at, that they are enjoying because they don't want to be out selling. They don't want to be out there yapping in front of the customer. They don't want to be out there glad handing and doing this event and this live thing and this training and all of that stuff. They want to be the person who is able to focus in on these details and have this amazing skill set to do so. So as we grow, growth can be something extremely exciting and fulfilling, but we're required to tie this part in to the other part, which is you acting like a loan officer, meaning that we're required to be on the offensive and get someone in there that can help you to grow so that you're not skipping marketing because you're associating pain to it. You're not the loan officer that I talk to nearly every single day who is not actively marketing because they got busy. They got caught up in the wash. A deal went sideways. They're chasing down pages. They're chasing down docs. They're busy back and forthing with all of these different people and the realtors and the clients and the banks and the blah, back and forth doing all of these different things, all of these texts, all of these updates that they're busy doing. So they're like, well, I haven't really done any marketing much and probably won't get you tomorrow because, and then they go on to explain how their entire day is basically running them rather than them getting to run their day. So friends, in closing, these things matter to us. And again, it's a marketing piece we created, right? Like, this is the irony. We created a marketing piece. However, we believe 100% fully, totally, completely in this marketing piece that we created. These 5 areas are the difference makers for when we start working with a loan officer who's maybe doing 4 or 5 deals in a month. And then 3, 4, 5, 6 months later, they're doing 12, 14, 17 deals every single month. There are changes that have occurred where they're no longer acting like a loan officer and acting as their own loan officer assistant, where they're no longer chasing in clients, where they're no longer attaching pain to growing, where they understand how to go and sell really well at a super high level to these referring partners. They understand these pieces of their business, and they understand that with a process, all of these things make a huge difference. Ultimately, we're rooting for you. Whether we ever cross paths, whether we ever do any cool business stuff together or not, we're rooting for you. This document will help you if you do nothing else but just read it and hopefully take it to heart, and then most importantly, implement, take action, do these things and begin doing them right away. They are going to make a massive difference in your business. I promise you. We promise you. Adam and I are in the business of making sure that we are leaving people better than we found them. So whether we ever see you, whether we ever do any business together, whether we bump into you at one of our live events that we're doing around the country, or see you off the side of a stage after we're done speaking, or running one of our own live trainings, we want to see you succeed. We want to see you be better than you were. We want to see you elevate your game and to grow and be stronger, happier, and feel in control of your life, your destiny, because after all, who else is really in charge of it? So friends, I appreciate you tuning in today, this being my maiden voyage on the podcast today. So I appreciate my partner, Mr. Adam Hires, who was kind enough to invite me to come on today to share these 5 big fibs that are being perpetuated by the marketing companies that unfortunately are actually having you pay to play a smaller game. And we want to make sure that we are helping you to stop doing that right away. Friends, this is Dallas Hardcastle. I hope you have an incredible day. I hope that you make today just mammoth, and we will look forward to connecting with you again soon. And as my friend and partner Adam likes to say, remember, limited risks equals limited rewards.